You should have some sound now. Okay, let me know if you got some sound. And I see you coming in. I see Jacqueline Jeter. Jeter, let us know where you coming in from. It's great to see you. And of course, I've got people streaming in from all over the world. But guess what? I have this world-renowned group of folks right here today. And I got to tell you, this broadcast is going to be phenomenal because this is what books to boom your business. And it's unequivocal that books to boom your business is going to just help you. Why is it going to help you? Because it's going to take you to the next level. Let's face it. You know, books to boom your business is really important. How important is reading? Our parents know it's important. That's why they talk to us about going to school and staying in school. Before we can comprehend or say anything, even when we are inside of our mother's belly, they've been reading to us or talking to us, especially when we got a lot of hair and give them heartburn. That's what they say anyway. And when we begin to read, they've encouraged us to do more. Why? Because they know how valuable reading is. As we grow older, we develop and cherish that habit and use the knowledge we've gained to get ahead in life. Well, you know what? Although we get ahead in life, we've got to really be careful about the books we read. As Charles Caleb Colton once said, books are like friends, and you should basically have a few and well chosen. Devoting our time reading books that will it will just deviate us from the path to success. It's just wasted if we don't read the right books. So you've got to get the right books, okay? And we must read to succeed, booming while reading. In that way, we can shine the light and live the legacy that we owe to God, ourselves, the one who first taught us to read. That's right. Y'all know that book I'm talking about. They call it the Bible. So you are all in for a treat. The amazing guests we have today are successful entrepreneurs and speakers. They're authors who have written excellent books that help people free themselves, free their mental real estate, and balance themselves in life and in business, and in our relationship with others, with ourselves, in this third installment of this webinar series. It's going to be amazing. So I want you to welcome our guests, our speakers, and welcome yourself and your friends. And as I say, your frenemies. Why? Because your frenemies need to know this information as well. And so with no further ado, I'm going to present to you a little, should I say, video by someone you just might know. Here goes.
Books to boom your business with Dr. Lotus Fouché is brilliant. And I, Kim Jacobs, the host of the Kim Jacobs Show, can't wait to help you boom your business with my books as well. Extreme Balance Makeover. This is how I fight my battles. Women of War, Peace in the Midst of the Storm. And Rise Up, Women Who Lead, Building a Legacy. I can't wait to see you.
All right. So please welcome with me none other than the host of It's the Kim Jacobs Show, the phenomenal speaker, author, and icon, Mrs. Kim Jacobs. Come on, let's hear it for Kim Jacobs. Woo woo! All right. So Kim, I want to thank you for being here. I know that you're phenomenal, and I know that you are coming in from North Carolina. It is unequivocal. It is unequivocal, Kim, that you are exactly what we talked about. So I'm going to add myself to the spotlight. You are a speaker. You are a show host. You are a trainer. You are an icon. You do so much for so many, not just here in the United States, but all around the world. Why? Because they see your show every day. You inspire people and you impact them. And so I'm humbly honored to have you here as one of our guests that's going to go first and talk to people about the books that can help boom their business. And you've selected a book that you're going to talk about tonight. And then guess what, folks? She's going to give us 5 tips from her book that's going to help you in your personal life and in your business life. Kim, the floor is yours. And thank you for being here.
Well, thank you, Dr. Lotus Rashay from the Lotus Rashay Ignites show and news you can use. So if you are not following Dr. Lotus Rashay on all of her platforms, then you are missing out on something great, because she always says, and I'll start with her quote, note takers are money makers. Yes. So I hope that you're taking notes this evening from the wise words of Dr. Lotus Rashay. And I'm really honored and privileged to be here with all of you all that are here on this platform. And I thank you for this opportunity, Dr. Rashay, and I don't take it lightly. I am excited because I get the opportunity to, when we talk about reading, how many of you know that readers are leaders? We are leaders. If we can just learn that reading and digesting this information can really help us on our journey in life. I learned this at an early age, and I've instilled this in all of my children. All of my children are readers, and they have really embraced that concept. So one of the books that I have been afforded the opportunity to write is called Extreme Balance Makeover. And this is the very first book that I was able to get published. So I'd like to talk about that. So I will just share with you that I do also have the distinct honor to be a part of the This Is How I Fight My Battles. And this book is about spiritual warfare and things that you may see on social media that we always get to see these images and things that happen, but really in my chapter in that book, I'm talking about what lies beneath the surface, what lies beneath the battlefield. And in this book, Women of War, Peace in the Midst of a Storm, I'm also one of the collaborative authors in that book. And in this particular book, I talk about how I am a messenger of hope. And that is an interesting chapter that you want to read. And not only my chapter, but all of the chapters, because these are mesmerizing stories. And this most recent release, which is Rise Up Women Who Lead, Building a Legacy. In this particular chapter, I talk about 5 important people that are extremely important in my life You can find the book at kimjacobsshow.com.
Awesome. I love it, Kim. I love it. And I want to say hi again to our viewers who are watching us around the world. Again, Jacqueline Jeter, we're happy to have you here. Latrice Kittle, Sophie Randall, and all of you that are tuning in. And Ebony Saunders, Kay DeLeon from the Philippines. People are putting in where they're coming in. Kansas City, we got you. Shannon Mitchell, we see you. Reading is fundamental to your mind. We see that. Misty Lane. Hey, Misty, it's great to see you. Wow, we have so many people streaming in on other apparatuses, and of course this is going to be on Apple TV and a whole host of other places. But here's what I want to say, Kim. I want to say to each and every one of our viewers around the world, if you don't have that book, you got to get the book. You got to get the book. You know why, Kim? Because it taught me some more things about you that I didn't know. I knew that you were a great show host. I know that you have interviewed people from all walks of life. You've interviewed NFL players. You've interviewed Les Brown, one of the thought leaders on the planet. And you've interviewed a lot of people. And here is why. Jill Reynolds, Trav Sawyer, Barbara Beckley, Hillary Gooden, Michael Friedland, who is one of our speakers, Misty Lane, and all the people, Angela Elting. We've got, wow, Tina V. Ezel here, and so many more that I can't even see on the screen, but they're here. You know why? Because Books to Boom Your Business is not just about business, but it's about what you do at home with your children. And you talked about your children, and you talked about Gabe. And a Gabe shirt. And see, that's where Books to Boom Your Business really starts. It starts at home, grounded at home. You're going to be able to be grounded in business. And Kim, I'm just so happy that you're here. So I want to give people the opportunity to ask you a couple of questions because, one, I know you're a mother first. And I know that's not an easy task. And all of her boys are really handsome. Her daughter's beautiful, so I can only imagine what she'd be going through. You know what I'm talking about. So, Kim, I want to start off and ask you a first question, and then I'm going right to Barbara Beckley and give her the floor and let her ask you a question. Kim, what I wanted to find out from you, in your books that you've written, you've shared about your family, you've shared about your life, and how you've gotten to be in the phenomenal status that you are. What was the scariest part of writing your first book?
Wow. The scariest part of writing my first book was that I had already written the book. I had already written the book, and it was sitting in my computer for 3 years.
Wow.
So when we talk about books that boom your business, God has put so much inside of us, and sometimes we are nervous about just bringing it to closure.
Yes.
And finish what we start. That's so important. So if God has given us something to do, we have to be able to finish what we started in us and finish what we started. And so I had that book, the first book, which was Extreme Balance Makeover.
Yep.
I had this book written for years.
Yep.
And it wasn't until my son Gabriel transitioned home to be with the Lord that I got it out of my computer and made it a reality. Only because I was determined at that point that it's not going to be one thing that God gives me to do, and under my watch, another person passed away in my family, and they don't get to 100% witness me running with everything within me.
Yep.
I know God has entrusted me to do. So He pushed me into my destiny of getting every book that I ever have inside of me. They're all going to be written. So I die as many as I can.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So
scary though. It's scary. And I already had it done. All I had to do was go put it to print.
Wow. Wow. So if anybody out there, if you can identify with that, we have several authors that are part of Books to Boom Your Business. And I would imagine that we all felt the same. But if any of you felt that way, I want to hear from you. So go ahead, and if you felt that way, go ahead and put a 2 in the comment. Me too. Put a 2 in the comment block below. Okay, go ahead and put that 2 in there. And then,
one more thing,
please, yes, please.
Another scary thing, and this is for right now, I can only talk about right this second, and somebody else may resonate with this, but a scary thing for me is sometimes when you are going through certain phases or seasons in your life, and you don't know whether you want to make sure that you don't put something in a book that you're not really prepared to pull it all the way through and it gets out to the whole public.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a scary thing because now I have another book because we're being transparent on this. I have a book that's finished. It's been finished and it's been done for maybe about 5 or 6 months. Mm-hmm. But I am a little bit nervous about putting it out. Wait until
yeah.
Because I know that some pieces of my story really can impact.
Awesome. And that's understandable, and I'm quite sure a lot of us can attest to that. So, Barbara, I'd love for you to come up and share some time with us, and go ahead and ask her your question. How about that? So I'm going to go back to Kim because I want you shoulder to shoulder with her. So you are shoulder to shoulder. All right. Hi, Barbara. Tell us a bit about who you are, and then please go ahead and ask your question.
Well, thank you two lovely queens, and I'm so glad I found the link to get in here. That was the biggest thing. My challenge to you guys. I'm getting there no matter what. But my thing was real quick because I want to get to the question. I have a TV screen, so I'm going to increase the TV. I know this is some other too. Mine is called the Diamond Factor. Diamond Factor Experience Show with Barbara Beckley. Yes. It comes on 5 times out the week. And basically, it's to edify, motivate, and inspire and bring awareness to everybody and showing your truth. Just like, don't be fearful. People need to know your story so they know they can get through whatever they're getting through. You might need the same story that you have. So I would say people are go to the lighthouse and look this guy in the back so they know that they're all together. But my question for you, Kim, is talking about your book, and then I know you have your own show too. What made you just say to yourself, okay, first of all, I'm going to book out there, and what made you move it into like your own show? What kind of gave you that to create your own show?
Well, that's a great question, Barbara. And first of all, congratulations on your show. And I can see the diamond factor in you.
Yes.
Shining bright like a so thank you so much for your question. And regarding the book and the show, it was almost like it's so many different components that come together because when I have my son that passed away unexpectedly. Yeah. And I never envisioned that would happen in I just couldn't prepare. Nobody can prepare for that. So we have to study that. There's no human way possible to prepare for that. So when that happens, it changes everything, Barbara. Anything that you had inside of you that you know was just lying dormant, you're like, I gotta get all of this stuff off the shelf, dust it off. Life can come to an end at any given moment. Unexpectedly, and then that's it. And that's what did I do? What did I do that God trusted me with? And I just left it sitting here? And I cannot do that. To me, I know now that my son is one of those proud witnesses, Barbara, that's watching me in heaven, and he is celebrating with me. He is crying with me. He is believing in me. And so for me, I know that I have to get to heaven. That's like almost like a locomotive thing running inside of me. I have to get to heaven. I don't have time for drama. I don't have time for whatever you don't want. You don't like me, so be it. Go on. Whatever the case may be, you can't offend me. I can promise you. There's not much that you can do to offend me, given that I've had a whole child die. Okay.
Yep.
So be it. Be good. We're good because I don't have time for that. But when you talk about the show, Barbara, I actually had a dream as a child, teenager, to be able to host my own show, and I would emulate Oprah Winfrey and Phil Donahue. So I would look at the closed caption and read it, and everything that Oprah said, I would be like, girl, come to the stage with my girlfriend, Gail. Girl, what are we talking about? You know, that's it. And I was just like emulating by reading what she's saying. Never knowing, Barbara, that I was actually going to ultimately become a talk show.
Yes.
At the time, I did not know that. But fast forward, I was given the opportunity to meet a woman at an old abandoned building, and she had about 25 people that were present in that abandoned building with all of these lights in one chair. And she asked me, come on, show us what you got. They were looking for talent, and I was looking for a show. And I became a host of a show on PBS, and we filmed at the old gym in Tammy Bay Baker's studio. That's where I was, in the old abandoned building. So doing host of a show on PBS, even though you think you're just playing around as a kid, you don't know that's my friend. So
thank you so much, Kim, for sharing that. You just gave me confirmation on why
Yes.
I started my show. That's what I wanted to hear. So thank you so much.
Yes. Give it
Shine
up.
forever. Thank you.
Wow. Give it up for Kim Jacobs. Woo! Came and dropped the mic. So I'm going to thank you so much, Barbara. That was a great question. I'm going to ask Traz to ask us one other question before we go into one other thing that Kim is going to share with us. And so I'm going to go ahead and ask Traz to come up and ask his question of Miss Kim Jacobs. Kim, I know you thought we was going to let you off easy, but no, because this is like interviewer to interviewer. Okay, so Traz is he has several books to his credit. He's about to shoot a new motion picture. I hope I can say that, but I won't tell who's going to be in the picture. But he's got some A-listers, actors and actresses that's going to be in his upcoming movie. And so with that being said, I have no further to do. I'm just going to add myself to the spotlight. I have no further to do but then to leave it up to you. Traz, you want to ask the question?
Oh, yes. You know, and it's something that, that I currently went through that I had to deal with. And I think I have dealt with it because I had to find a new focus, a new focal point within myself, and that is staying motivated. You spoke about, a tragedy or a death, that hurted you and your family, and in rough times, how do you stay motivated, to write? I mean, I know that, God will give you the peace that you need to do things, but really sitting down to write could be one of the most easiest, one of the most hardest things to do, to stay motivated after a tragedy. It can be very tough. And I know this because my son died 2 months ago, and I started writing books. The very first book was because of him. Now, I struggled writing that first book, but it was like I developed what is called the writer's roadmap. Maybe one day, Dr. Lois Richard will do a collaboration with many people on their personal roadmap. I developed a roadmap, so I don't deal with writer's block. But staying motivated is something that even having no writer's block, you can conquer a writer's block and pretty much have a story from beginning to end when you write the first, few words, which is the most important words, but, staying motivated, to get through the project in tough times.
Well, Traz, first of all, you have my deepest condolences, and I hate that God has to connect us this way through tragedy, but I do know, and I don't believe that I don't believe our children are lost. So people often say, we accept our whatever, but the loss is, I know where my son is, and I'm sure you know where your son is. And so I know his address. It's just a different location. And yes, it's lost to us because we're here on this earth and we have to carry on without seeing our loved ones every single day. So that's the loss that I experienced. My heart is broken from it. I'm sure yours. As far as the motivation, it's different things, Travis, because the way that I am able to stay motivated is when I get the opportunity to have either somebody else coach me on the journey, I really utilize my book coaches, and they help hold me accountable because sometimes I'm not able to just be accountable by myself. So they're like, "What are you doing? When are you gonna do this?" So they're like on me, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have even told these people to do this, or I wouldn't have to be talking about it right now." So getting some people around me that help hold me accountable and hold my feet to the fire has made a difference in me being able to. It almost makes me honor my work even more, even though I want to be true to myself, but sometimes I want to let myself off the hook.
Yes.
If that makes sense. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll get to it.
Yeah.
And then another thing that helps me with my motivation is being able to schedule an appointment, official appointment time for me to get some writing done. I notice that I'm more effective when I have it as a blocked out appointment that's with myself, and it's for the purpose of this. I'm going to write for 1 hour, and I'm going to write for 1 hour per whatever. And I don't try to overdo it, Trans, because sometimes I know with my other busyness and things, like I just came from a soccer game tonight before I came here.
Yep.
You can't imagine how quickly I tried to throw on some lipstick. I was like, this. Oh, I agree. That was a chaser. The point is, the game didn't even end until 7. I'm trying to rush to get back home. We have a lot of things on our plates, you know? So trying to figure out how to balance each aspect is so important to compartmentalize. And that's why I'm called the balance doctor. Compartmentalize that thing and say, during this block of time, I'm going to do this. Uninterrupted, let the phone go to voicemail, whatever. I'm going to be here now for this moment of my own life and what I want to get accomplished that God gave me.
Whew.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes.
Wow.
Can I give you a roll?
Nah, Kim. Yo. Hey. That's right. That's right.
I mean, phenomenal women. I mean, I'm just impressed by you, each of you. I mean, really, you inspire me. You women are incredible.
Awesome. Fantastic. Awesome. Fantastic. So thank you so much. And don't be surprised, Kim, if I call you up and I say, Kim, I got Traz on the phone. Can we get you in the movie? Yes. Awesome. Fantastic. And Traz, tell them a little more about what you do, because I Barbara told, and then now we want you to tell. I know I told a little bit, but that was just a little bit.
Well, some of what I do is I first wanted to, over the past few years, before I worked on trying to, get a lot for self, because we do need something for ourselves, not necessarily a lot, but, was to try to contribute something back to the community. So I created, along with the help of a friend of mine, an event called the Free Your Potential and Lead to Achieve, which primarily, spoke to the youth, about overcoming and achieving, in the midst of the greatest obstacles in life. And so I asked a number of individuals to come to my city, which is Ithaca, and speak to the youth over a 2-day celebrity event. So Dr. John Christian came, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Buster Douglas came, very good people, Granville Waiters, he played with Michael Jordan against Michael Jordan, but I mean a phenomenal guy too, which passed, sadly, he passed a moment ago. He came, and also Larry Jones, hello Larry Jones, you need to get Larry Jones on as well, Hall of Famer, he came to speak to the youth, and they just love speaking to the youth because that's what they do. And also Ponder, he's a producer, the writer-producer, co-producer of the film. Also that won the game, which also gets reach out to you. So that's what I wanted to do. So I brought that celebrity event here with the help of the community, this community with, sponsorships from, major businesses here. So I mean, it was like awesome. So they came and they spoke to youth, and people loved it. And thereafter, Dr. Christian wanted a national event. He wanted to help people as well. He wanted to show forgiveness to people. And Dr. Lotus Ritchie also was a part of this. You know, he walked from Columbus, Ohio to Washington, D.C., you know, to represent forgiveness and reconciliation in uniting America, but also to raise funds for people in need. You know, people in need, disabled people, children, you know, people suffering from domestic abuse or whatever, you know, and this is what we do. This is what we did, you know, and it was great. And it was like, oh yeah, we're getting wheelchairs for a number of other people and doing this, and you can see, you know, the fruits of your labor. You say, okay, that's good, you know, and it was worth it. And you don't have to be paid all the time, you know, for everything either, because, you know, some things is beyond money, to be honest. You know,
that's the truth.
And but you really wanted to survive, so you know, so you have to focus on finances as well. So I must, you know, do that, you know, as well. And Dr. Lotus Ritchie, I'm counting on you, hoping that you will help me with this film, because you're the magic woman. I got a book called 8
Thank
Hours
you.
of 8 Hours of Magic. But you're a magic maker. You know,
Thank you.
You're a magic maker. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And yes, yes. Yes. So my answer is yes. So now it's out. I've been asked to help with this motion picture, and my answer is yes. So thank you so much, Traz, for putting her in the hot seat and asking her this question. And so what we're going to do is, Kim, I have something for you because I know that you are a giver. And so I wanted to make sure that we saw this clip from you, because it's really important. So I've got to get to it. But with that being said, Kim, you've been asked a couple of questions, and you've been so gracious and answered those questions. But how can our audience reach out to you? How can they connect and be a part of what you're doing? And one, I want to thank you for saying that our folks here can be on your show, because your show is dynamic. I love your show. It's the Kim Jacobs Show. If y'all have not been on the Kim Jacobs Show, please make sure you get on the Kim Jacobs Show. Make sure you check her out. She's on just about every day, every week, without fail. She is there. So, Kim, how can they connect with you?
Well, Dr. Lotus Fishay, they can connect with me by going to our YouTube channel, and it's Kim Jacobs Show. The Kim Jacobs Show right on our YouTube channel. Subscribe, turn the notification bells on. And if anyone is interested in starting your own show from scratch, or just being trained on how to train on the StreamYard platform, you can go to KimJacobsConsulting.com. We've had 21 different individuals this year that have either started their own talk show from scratch, and they have some phenomenal shows, or they've been trained on the StreamYard platform already. And so we have that available to you. And people can email me to Kim at thebalancedoctor.tv. But mainly go to KimJacobsConsulting.com, and everything's there. How to subscribe, how to support the show, how to connect with me, all of it's right there. KimJacobsConsulting.com.
But Kim, you know I got some secret sauce. So I got to hit you with this one, because I know that you got some stuff going on. So hold on. My battery trying to get low, y'all. Y'all know what happens sometime when we get unplugged. But guess what? We're not gonna let that happen. Tell us about this, Kim. What's up with this?
Well, these are just several of the books that are international bestsellers on Amazon, and they are available it's a collaborative effort where we have the main authors of each of those books, and I've been afforded the opportunity to work with a chapter in each of those books. And then one book that I've also written myself exclusively. And so these are opportunities for me to continue to just salt the earth and
Yes.
be part of some fantastic projects. You don't have to do everything by yourself. If you get the opportunity to be a part of an anthology, take advantage of it, because your story is given to you to be able to make a difference, and the whole world misses out if you don't share your story.
Exactly.
You don't think that you have to write a whole book. You don't have to. You can write a chapter of the book, and you're still very valuable.
Exactly. Exactly. So Kim, I wanna thank you for sharing that. But here's the thing. For those of you that's looking on the other apparatuses, here's what I'm about to do. I'm about to share this commercial that Kim has, okay? Because I don't get into secret sauce and just let it be secret sauce. We want to hear her voice. So let's see if we can get it to play. I'm gonna stop it for a quick second. Y'all know how I like to do. Let me stop it for a quick second, and then I'm going to go in there and get this information, because Kim, we need to get your book. We need to go on and click in and get that book. So let me try to set this up one more time, folks, because I want y'all to hear from Kim. Y'all know I'm the queen of the secret sauce. So here we go. Let's see if I can get this.
Go to Kim Jacobs Show.
Let's see here.
And purchase one of our available books. Go to KimJacobsShow.com and purchase one of our available books. Go to KimJacobsShow.com and purchase one of our available books. Go to KimJacobsShow.com and purchase one of our available books.
So, with that being said, okay, it's been said that you have to play something like 17 times or 21 times for it to stick. So folks, I was playing that Kim Jacobs show for you, or go to KimJacobs.com. Get your book. That's all I want to say. So Kim, I want to thank you for sharing that. Please, Kim, go ahead and everyone put your information in the chat. We will be sharing the chat later on for all of our viewers on Zoom, Apple TV, Roku, and YouTube and the like, so that you can get connected as well. So Kim, with no further ado, I love you and I want to thank you. And I'd like you to help me introduce our next speaker on Books to Boom Your Business. Now, you know he comes with some fire. I wish he had some music tonight. He has this amazing book, and this is why the two of you were paired. You're fire, he's fire. He's none other than Dr. Michael Friedland. So I know you've spoken to him before. So tell me what you thought about DJ Mike J, also known as Dr. Michael Friedland.
When Dr. Michael Friedland came on the Kim Jacobs show, y'all, first of all, it was life-changing because he talked to us about a disease that he lives with every single day.
Yes.
And this disease, we put pictures up and images up. And to see that this man is who he is, in spite of what he battles every single day, the things that he has to wrap around his legs, and it's Milroy's disease.
Yes.
This disease is a life-debilitating disease, but he kicks it in the head every day.
Every day.
And he is a walking, living example of what a person can do if they go beyond their limitations. Dr. Michael Friedland reminds me of Forrest Gump, if you will. Okay?
Yes.
Forrest Gump, it's like, run,
That's right.
He is breaking the limitations that have been placed on his life, and he is here today to share his dynamic story. Welcome, Dr. DJ Mike
Friedland. Woo woo. Awesome.
Today, y'all, it's great times. And listen, thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to be here. You notice I always come slide in with something smooth just to set the tone right. But listen,
there you are, Doc.
Talk to you guys about, and I'm not even gonna waste time. I gotta get into this because this is real serious. And when I say this, I mean it because people are waiting for an opportunity, and people are looking for a change. Let me say that again. People are waiting for an opportunity, and people are looking for a change. And I remember those days.
So, Doc, I want to ask you something. I know you're getting ready to go. I know you're about to set us on fire. But before you set us on fire, let us clap you up, because you were featured recently in the Africa Gazette. You're standing there with Dr. Reuben West as you are congratulated for this book that you're going to be talking about, called Books to Boom Your Business. So let's hear it for Dr. Michael Friedland and his book being featured in the Africa Gazette. Thank you, Dr. Friedland. You have the floor.
Thank you so much. Let me tell you, it's a life's work. Let me put this out here, because I don't want people to get it confused when we talk about books and what it takes to write books and how much time we put into writing these books. Now, Kim Jacobs can tell you that it takes work, it takes time to put the work in. Mr. Trash can tell you the same thing. It takes time to put these books together. But one thing I have to explain to people is that, listen, when it came to writing this book, Free Your Land, Developing Your Mental Real Estate. Somebody asked me, how long did it take you to write this book? I told them it took me 8 months to write this book. Why? Because I didn't know how to write a book. But when I got done writing a book and somebody else asked me, how long did it take you to write this book? I told them it took 50 years. Because sometimes the books that we write come from a lifetime of atonement. And when we write behind the passion that comes with living, growing, going through, and surviving, then you got to understand that when we put the literature out, these are books because this is what they call them. But these are tools. These are guides. These are pieces of information that shift lives every single day. Because, it's hard to talk to somebody who doesn't understand what you're going through. And see, I was that boy one time where I remember, like I said, I'm going to have to go there for just a little bit, because it's always tied to who I am. When I was born with Milward's disease, my mother didn't know it, my dad didn't know it. And when they found out what was going on, they flew me to Boston Children's Hospital at the age of 5. And while I was in the hospital, they couldn't figure out what was wrong with my left leg. It had swollen beyond recognition. They didn't have any explanation. And then you guys know, in the 1970s, technology isn't what it is right now. So when they told you they didn't know, they really had no clue, and there was no way they was going to find out what was wrong with me. So what they do, they put me on that table, and they put me to sleep, and I asked my dad before I went in there, as they was wheeling me into the room. I said, Dad, what are they going to do? He said, they got to operate on this. I said, why? They said, because they need to find out what's wrong with your leg. Told the son everything is going to be okay. So they took me into the operating room, pushed me in there on that journey, and I tell you, I remember they tell you to count backwards from 10. I don't even remember saying 10. I believe I was out, and I had this vision while I was there. I had a vision of my feet laid open. I see they was cutting on me, and I seen blood on the table, and I seen in this vision, I seen just doctors around, all this information. Now I'm knocked out. And then I came to the realization of one thing. I wasn't asleep. I woke up on the operating table because they didn't have the anesthesia. And when they did that, I don't remember much else after that. But that has always been a vision and stuck with me. The one thing I know was that with Milward's disease, it was a genetically inherited condition. But what happened was they went to my mom and asked them, went to my dad. And when they went and asked them, they said, no, I don't have any traces of this in my family. So you can imagine, again, as a mother, what it's like when you sit there and watch your babies get sick, and when they go through certain suffering, that you just can't do anything to help them. The feeling behind having a parent, not only watching you suffer, but you're watching them suffer because they're not a part of the healing process that it takes to do. So let me fast forward a little bit, because I can get into this all night, but we're talking about freeing your land mental real estate. And what I'm talking about is developing what we all possess. When I say mental real estate, a lot of people think I'm talking about home property. Yes, I'm talking about the house, and I'm talking about the property, but I'm talking about what belongs between these two ears. See, we get it confused sometimes when we talk about the houses and the homes that we own. But let me help you understand when we're talking about these things, that we're talking about what we possess in our mindset. Mentally, how are we strong? And how can we shape the perspective? Because I said there are positive and negative contributors to your mindset. And which way we think and how we move is determined based upon what we obtain. And when we gain something mentally,
It is either strong for us or it can be weak for us. Now listen, people can tear your house down, but let me help you understand something. Every house is built on what? A foundation. And when you have a foundation, we all know that what? We can put whatever we want on this foundation as long as the foundation is sound. And in mental real estate, I help people understand that what you have to add and the value that you can add to other people's lives is most of the time, if not all the time, more important than your own initiative. Yourself in a position to help others out. A lot of times you're going to be the one what? Who's behind you. And a lot of times you want to push people what? In front of you. That's the vision right there. It's not so much that I want to help so many people that I want to walk beside them, but let me see where I can steer you to. Because if your life matters just as much as I knew mine mattered one day, because somebody told me that I would never have kids. Somebody told me that I wouldn't have my leg by the time I was a teenager. Somebody told me that I could die from this sickness. They told me. But can you imagine where you would be if you listened to those theories and those thoughts that people had to say? And at some point, I also know that in mental real estate, at some point I said it, we're talking positive and negative thinking. When we're talking about your mindset, your mental real upstate of your mind, it has to change. It has to change. Because if we were all meant to be what somebody told us we was going to be 20 years ago, we wouldn't be talking right now. And that's a fact. So what I'm talking about is how did I get where I am? How did I build this business? How did I do this thing with the book? And how did I become a book author? I'll tell you how. I had a strong faith. Because I had nothing else. Let me say this again. I need this to hit home. I had nothing else but faith. Because I had every doctor. I had both my parents that didn't understand. I had my friends that thought they were my friends, but they laughed at me. They teased me. They made fun of me. I had the doctors telling me everything I could not do, but they couldn't acknowledge one thing I could. And the one thing that I knew, is that God gave me this right here. Let me help somebody else. Let me change somebody's thoughts. Because at some point somebody else was told, you can't do this. You're ugly. You look funny. Something's wrong with you. Or they ask you the question, what's wrong with you, to try to get you to answer that question. But let me tell you something. What people don't understand, they will criticize. And if they will criticize you, there's something to me. Listen, if you want to make fun of me, that's fine. But if you talk about me enough, I'm not only the subject, I'm the topic. So if you want to talk about me, you go right ahead, because I know if you have my name in your mouth, there must be something that is driving you in this direction. And if I can get you to come just a little bit closer, there's something I can show you. And you know, we can build as much as we want to teach people all over the world. These books are amazing. When we're talking about building a business, let me ask you a question. What's your reason? I have a sheet here. Here it is. Right here. Let me ask you a question. And if you're on here, write this down. What's your reason? If you have a business, what is your reason? Now, why do I say that? Because it's very important that you have one. I've seen a lot of people say, hey, I'm going to open a business. I said, that's great. I see people say all the time, I'm going to start me a new business next month. And, you know, I would like for your support. Please come and support. I absolutely will. What is it that you want to do? Because if you have an initiative behind the business that you want to see, guess what? You will see this thing through. See, failure comes for those who choose to fail. Let me say that again. Failure comes for those who choose to fail. And if you make a decision to fail, but if you know that there's something that has been put down on the inside of you, and if your initiative is bigger than yourself, if what you really want to do is bigger than you can see, you can realize it. There's so many things that I've done that God has blessed me with, and I got to give all the credit back to where it comes from, because I would not be here if it wasn't for the God that I serve. And I think that it's really important, but we're talking about helping you build business. I asked you a question, what is your reason? The next question I want to ask, or what I want to say is the next statement is, learn the anatomy of the mind. Ooh, I know that's heavy. I'm talking about mental real estate. Learn the anatomy of the mind because, listen, when you go into business or when you're trying to build something, it doesn't matter what it is. You have to do what? Put your mind into it. How many of us, and I'm just going to ask it on the show, how many of us, by show of hands, was ever told you can do anything that you what? Put your mind to it. So how true is that when someone comes to you and tells you that? See, I remember when I was a kid, I thought they was playing. I'm like, okay, all right, now can I go outside and play now? But you have to get older to understand, and with age can also come wisdom. And as you get wise, you can learn that there are certain tricks of the trade we've been taught our whole life, and we chose not to listen. But now we wish we could get all of that back because we can be difference makers. Now let me say something else to you. When we're talking about business, believe beyond the belief. Let me say that again. Believe beyond the belief. What does that mean, Dr. Friedland? Somebody had to take time to figure out who you were. Somebody has to study you. Somebody has to learn a little bit more about you before they choose to believe in you. But when you believe. Now I'm talking about you. When you believe, guess what? That comes from the inside. You have to choose to believe in that business. You have to choose to believe in the vision before the vision is even seeked out. Before you can even seek it out and you know that God has given you something to do, sometimes you have to walk when you can't see the floor. Because you'll realize at some point you're going to land someplace in a destination close to where you want to be. So this is one of the things I say. Listen, have a conversation with others. Now this is key. It seems so simple, but how key is this one? Have the conversation with others about business. If you want to learn how to do business, you have to do business. If you want to learn how to grow a business, get next to somebody who may have been in a business and have watched them fail. How many times have they come back? You can learn just as much about your failures as you can your success. If you button up to the right people, you can definitely find more information out there that helps you be able to grow as an individual and in a business. Take your business one step at a time. One step at a time. I've seen too many times where people, I love it. I love when people are driven towards a goal to own a business. But when we don't take it one step at a time, you can have 5 different directions that you want to go and you can't reach none of them. Why is that? Your level of focus. The mental real estate that tells you that, hey, I could do this over here, but hold on, I see this, I want to add this, I want to do more. But listen, I started out as a DJ 30 years ago. As a DJ 30 years ago. And I stuck to the same thing for 30 years before somebody else seen me for more than just a thing. And ever since then, I have to come. So I'm trying to help somebody to understand more about themselves. I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but remember, you're the motivating factor to your business. Let me say this again. So all business owners, wannabe business owners, if you're going to another one, you are the motivating factor to your business. Don't look around and ask other people or expect other people to pat you on your back when God gave us all one. And you have an arm that will reach right behind you and touch it anytime you need it. Because listen, everybody's not going to be a fan. Everybody's not going to support you and not always going to understand. But one thing that you can do is be your own motivating factor. So whenever people tell you what you cannot do, you already have the what I cans on the inside. It's okay. That's life, and that's how business operates when you deal in the world of business. Hey, listen, I love you guys, man. Thank you so much. I am Dr. Michael Friedland. You know, it is real for me in for your land, developing your mental real estate. This book is changing lives, not just in the U.S. It is around the world. Thank you for that acknowledgement, Dr. Lotus Lachey. Global press releases and all this stuff has been so phenomenal, and I'm not done yet. I got to head back to Ghana with the King, Sir Clyde Rivers in March. I'm heading back to Kenya also, so I have a lot of work to do. The one thing is for sure, that if you put the work in, trust the process that God has for you. Let me say that again. Trust the process that God has for you. Don't get ahead of yourself thinking that you have your own blueprint. It was created before you was ever born. So don't think for 1 minute that you own the blueprint. God's the one you got to talk to and say, okay, what's next? What would you have me do? And if you're not a person of faith, if you're not a person of religion, be a person of faith, because we all will believe in something. And you know what? If you can believe in that, you got to believe that there's something more for you. So, hey, God bless you. And Dr. Lotus, thank you so much for this opportunity. I appreciate you all.
Woo! Woo! Another mic drop. Give it up for Dr. Friedland, y'all. So, of course, Dr. Friedland, you know you're not getting out of the house without some questions. And I've got to call somebody who's been pulling double duty and triple duty for your booty to make sure you get the information that you need. I want to go right to Pastor Dr. Miss Hillary Gooden for her to give you one of her questions. And I don't know what that's going to be, but I know it's going to be great. So, Dr. Hillary, please come on up, and you got the floor.
Well, hello, everyone.
Dr. Hillary.
Dr. Mike. I like that right here. Let me see it. Yep.
Woo woo! Yes. Yes.
Free your land. You know what? I know that this is something that you know is so in you. It's in you. You can't not talk about it. You know? And so I know that's the case. Just like with God, you can't not talk about it. And so let me ask you, what is the time when you did talk about it before some people, whether it was at school or some young adults, I don't know, where you really knew this is the thing I'm going to be talking about for a while?
You know, when I realized that mental real estate is something that I had to do, when God showed me the life, that I'm living, when this book was written, and you see, I started all the way back from the beginning. As a child, I told this story and I added, so there's so much more to learn about what I've been through to this point. But everything is a step by step by step. And I learned that what God was doing with this thing, He showed me the whole step of everything I've been through, all the walks, all the different surgeries, the doctors. I've seen everything happening in front of me. But it's something how you kind of, sometimes you get that shield when the light is just so bright, all you want is the shade. And when I knew that I was shaded, I seemed to be okay as long as I knew they couldn't see me. And I wanted to stay behind that shield where I knew that they see me, but they just couldn't look at me the way I wanted them to see me. And see, when I knew that I had got to a point where my life took a turn, and when it took that turn, I realized that it's not so much what they see, it's what I say. Because I can create something that's better than the person that they see by what I have to say to them. And so once people give you an opportunity to speak, this is why I was told once by Dr. Tracy Ward, you never see a mic that you don't like. When you have an opportunity to speak, you get up and you put your voice out there. And so all I did was, and I'll tell you, I said 3 letters. My whole career has changed with 3 letters. YES. When I gave my yes and understood that there was something greater besides myself, I started driving myself to a purpose that was beyond anything I had even thought. And what happened was God adds the acknowledgement. You walk, don't look for the rewards. You walk, don't look for the trophies. Don't look for the awards and the plaques and all those things. You just keep walking. And when you put your best foot forward and you start reaching people where they are, let me tell you something. And I know y'all all know what I'm talking about. There's nothing like the satisfaction of knowing you did something right and somebody's life was changed by that moment. There is something about that feeling that you can't shake that. And the thing is, what God showed me.
Hey, Misty, I want to bring you up next to ask the next question of Dr. Mike.
The only way you can do this is you have to know.
I had to get off. I was getting called into the hospital.
Because if I look over my life,
okay.
somebody the other day, of all the things
It's okay, darling. Oh, you're welcome. All right. Thank you so much. I want you on because I want you to come up and talk about your book. So I'll send you an email.
But I'm getting called into the hospital for an emergency, so I've got to go.
Yeah. Okay. No, I don't mean right now. I mean later. We'll send you an email. I love you, Misty, and thank you so much, darling. You got it. All right. You got it. Okay, great. All right. Thank you, darling. All right. Bye. Wow. Fire. Pastor Hillary, you're the bomb.com. I appreciate you. And we're going right next to the woman all the way in Branson, Missouri. But Pastor Hillary, you didn't tell the folks. We got right into it. You didn't tell the folks about you. Tell us about you, please.
Well, I'm Hillary Goodman, Bible life coach and certified psychology expert. And my whole mission is helping people understand that you got the power.
Yes.
Help your body, help you. They have a more vibrant life. I have a more vibrant health. That's easy, natural, and good. One bounce at a time, using your words.
Yes.
That mental real estate, all of that stuff. You got the power. Help your body, help you. That's what I got to say. That's what I got. You got the power.
Woo woo. That's the Hillary Gooden. I love it. I love it. And you've always got something great to say. And so thank you so much, Pastor Hillary, Dr. Hillary, for coming up and sharing this with us. Oh, yeah. Okay, fantastic. I'm working in the other studio as well, so pardon me, y'all. But Pastor Hillary, I just wanted to say thank you because you are 100% right. You have the power. You have the power, and it's deep within, and it starts in your mental real of state. So thank you so much, Pastor Hillary. We love you. So how can people connect with you as well?
Well, I always like to say, I don't remember the lady's name right this minute, but she said, her uncle asked her, "Are you Googleable?" Guess what? I'm Googleable.
I love it.
I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, it's everywhere.
Right.
I have 2 shows. I did a show tonight called "If I Could Just Tell You," so I talk about things that help you, that help your body. Help you live my life. And then on Thursdays, I have a show called "Let's Get Acquainted," where I use that as a platform to help other people speak out what it is they're doing to help others in the world. And that's the show that I put the link. That you can email me if you'd like to be on that show every Thursday. And that's both on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube as of now.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pastor Hillary. We appreciate you and we love you. So next up, where is she? Let me find this young lady. There she is, all the way from Branson, Missouri. We are going to ask the wonderful Miss Jill Reynolds. Tell us a little bit about yourself right quick, Miss Jill. And then we want you to give Dr. Friedland your question before we begin to close the event for this evening. Miss Jill Reynolds, for those of you that don't know her, let me just come in the spotlight. For those of you that don't know her, she's going to tell you some things about her. But if you ever get to Branson, Missouri, who you need to go see, make sure you see the lady from Hope, Health, and Healing, Miss Jill Reynolds. Jill, you got the floor.
Well, Lotus, you're my lady, and for those who don't know me, I am the Connection Show, Braveheart Workshops, the Connection Show, bringing hope, health, and healing to the world. I'm moving from victim to victory, and I have the privilege, Traz, to have the amazing Dr. Lotus Richey be the MC of the event we had in August. Dr. Hillary Gooden was one of our guest speakers. Misty Lane was, and of course Dr. Johannes Christian, who I love dearly with all of my heart. And so it was one of the most amazing events. But one of the highlights of the event is that the amazing Dr. Michael Friedland surprised Dr. Lotus Richey and drove to Kansas City and walked in.
Yes.
And Michael, as you're smiling, I'm getting, whenever I get goosebumps, I know it's the Holy Spirit, because I would tell you it's him, and it's not me talking, and so I'm going to cry. But when you just smile, that's like my question to you, is when you smile, the exuberance of God's joy permeates through you. And so when I hear your story of you said same things that people make fun of you because of the differences. You know, Michael, heard my story of Branson, and you know that I come from a family of being told that I'm double ugly and there's nothing good about me and I wasn't wanted. And so, you know, I had to go through the resiliency of coming back through the faith of God to know that I am a child of God and the most high, beautiful woman that's out there because God created me. And so, looking at you, Michael, I'm going at 68, so you know I'm not hitting on you. But you are one of the most handsome men I have ever met. And your smile, it's like it ignites. And so I guess with that, you know, so it blows my mind knowing that people made fun of you for the way you look. And it blows my mind that I had a mother who thought that I wasn't worth life. Because, you know, and so I guess the question is and I met your mom in Kansas City when you found out your book was going to all the prisons in all of Kansas. And your mother just fell to the ground rejoicing. And I saw the joy of the Lord in your mom for the love she has for you versus the love for my mom. And so I guess the question I would say, do you remember when you looked into the mirror and just saw the Most High in your face and said, wow, am I a knockout? Am I a knockout?
Yes, funny, you know, and that leads me to something. I'm gonna share a story with you. Is that when I was in high school, you know, I told you I had to deal with this. Still, right now, still have my memories disease. But when I was in high school, I remember I was so excited to try to talk to this girl. You know, I never really had much of a girlfriend. I dated every now and then, but I just wasn't a popular guy. I told you all the reasons why. They had a lot of eyes on the guys who were in sports and athletic, but I just was not that guy. But I had my eyes on this one girl, and, you know, and I got enough nerve to get myself together at school, and I was going to ask her out. So I walked up to her, I stood there, I told my friends, I said, man, they said, man, just go talk to her. I said, I don't know, man. They said, man, just go talk to her. So I said, okay, so I got myself together, you know, and in high school, you try to be cool. So, you know, I kind of put my little walk on, and I got up to her and I said, hey, how you doing? She said, Mike, how you doing? I said, I'm doing fine. I said, how are you? She said, I'm fine. What do you want? So I'm telling you. So let me tell you what she said. I went to her and I said, hey, I was wondering if we can go out. She said, what? I said, can we date? I mean, can I, you know, go out? Back then, that's how you asked to be a boyfriend, girlfriend. Would you be my girlfriend? And let me tell you what she said to me. She said, Mike, you know I can't do that. I said, what? She said, you know I can't do that. I said, well, what do you mean? I mean, what do you mean? She says, don't make, I don't want to have to say it. She was talking about me. It was visible. So she turned me down on the fact that I looked different. I was different. I didn't appear the same. And as much as it took for me to walk up there and be proud, to finally ask a girl that I really like, would you just please, you know, can we date? Can I take you to a movie or anything? I got shot down. Now, what did that do for me? Oh, it hurt. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. But what I did was, I mean, I can't tell you how I got through high school because there was so many moments, like so many moments where people would utilize my deficiencies to make fun of me. But I learned one thing, that when you hide behind the pain of illness, you can heal from the acknowledgement of deficiency. So what I'm saying is this, you can heal, but there's not going to be anybody sentences. It's a tough road a lot of times when you're walking alone. Sometimes it feels a little smoother when you have somebody beside you to talk to you. to comfort you. But when you have to walk this road by yourself, sometimes it's quite bumpy and you feel barefoot and it hurts. And you're going to see the scars of all of those things. But when I looked in the mirror, one of the things that I used to say is, well, what are you going to do with yourself? I was always told when I was growing up, what you going to do when you grow up? Our grandparents started on us when we was 9. They said, you're halfway to 18. What you going to do when you grow up? And I was like, I'm 9 years old. What kind of question is that to ask somebody? But they asked, you know why? They didn't ask for the answer. They asked because they wanted to put it on my mind. And if I can start thinking at the age of 9, by the time I get 18, guess what? I can't tell you I had a path because I didn't know what I was going to do. The one thing I knew that as I got older, and you have to live this life to understand it. You can't just say, oh, I'm growing out. Man, I remember those days of telling my mom I was growing when I turned 18. That was right before she put me out because she had to prove to me that I wasn't grown yet. You know what I'm saying? So y'all laughing because some of y'all know. But the fact is this. When you look in the mirror and you have to know what you're looking at. That mirror is not just a reflection. That is actually the fiber of the person that is standing there, the actual human being, the initiative that God has created. Is you. Now, but you have to accept these parts that belong to you, or you have not. You don't have to. There's certain things that but here's the good thing I like about it. No matter, I'm gonna step aside, I'm gonna show you something. No matter what happens, we're always in control of what we put in here. Now that's powerful because a lot of times people are told certain things that we get it so deep sometimes that we believe everything people have told us, and we feel like every time we step in the mirror, it's going to look the same. But you're in control of what you see in that mirror. That reflection is you. Everything that is built on who you are is standing right in front of you. And at some point, you got to know that when you get there, listen, it may be ugly right now, but let me go change it to a jogging suit. Listen, you know what? I may have to go to a bank, but let me go put a suit and a tie on. And you stand in front of that mirror, and you can't tell me it don't feel good when you know you're smelling good, you're looking good, you got the suit on, you got the dress on you want, and you stand there and buying yourself, girl, take one more picture, and we got to go. You know what I'm talking about. So if we can do these things on a natural level, what can we do with the mental real estate that we possess? Trust this thing. I told you, it doesn't matter how many times you build a house and how many times it falls down. As long as the foundation is laid, you can do this thing as often as you want. This belongs to everybody. Mental real estate is not just, I'm talking to 9, 8-year-olds about the same thing I'm talking to you about. Because why? They can do this.
Yep.
They can do this. I'm not any respected person that I feel I have arrived, I'm better than anybody else. No, God gave me the work. This is my work. So if it's my work, it's my duty to carry out the work. But I'm in no shape, form, or fashion better than anybody else. God said I am exactly who he said I am. And I show up every time. But allow God to give you the provisions that you need. So I don't even know if I answered the question, Jill. I just did find out.
And you are still in rock solid days, Michael. You are still.
Yes. Yes.
And I forgot, Lotus, I need to say, so for those of you who don't know me, I am the rock solid, and Michael and Lotus will say rock solid event planner in the world, planning events, and we have got, sorry Michael, sorry Trash, we have got a Christian women's retreat coming to Branson, Missouri, February 24th to 27th, called Connecting to Joy in Hope, Health, and Healing. In Traz,
Yes.
I was just asked to plan an event in Branson, Missouri in April for the film festival that's going to be in Branson for filmmakers. So you'll have to come to Branson for the film festival in April for your film.
Awesome. God bless you.
Yes.
And thank you, Jill. Thank you so much. And so with no further ado, I want to thank our phenomenal authors, speakers, trainers, show hosts, and all of you around the world that's joining us on every apparatus. Those of you that's joining us right here in Zoom, We appreciate you. And so I just want to take the time to thank both of you for being here, for coming up, for showing out, for sharing your love, your light, and your energy. I really appreciate you because your books are definitely books to help people boom their business, but they got to boom their personal life before they can boom their business. And you both have nailed it.
Dr. Lotus?
Yes, sir.
Say, if anyone would like to reach out to me, because nobody asked me, so I'm going to reject this. If you would like to reach out to me, you can find me on Facebook with Michael Friedland or DJ Mike J, because I still am a DJ also. Or you can find me also on djmj.freeland4@gmail.com, or you can reach my assistant. Her name is Ebony at Ebony, E, T as in Tim, M as in Mike, @gmail.com. Please reach out at any time for any reason. I do a lot, but you know what? I'm always willing to do what it takes to help all of our people. And it has nothing to do with all of our people.
Yes.
So,
And come to Kansas City, February 11th through the 13th, for the Becoming the Best You Can, Overcoming Challenges.
Yes.
Where Dr. Freeland's going to be speaking. Oh, Dr. Lotus Rashay.
Yes. And also, for those of you that are watching the show on the multiple apparatuses, now Kim and Mrs. Kim Jacobs and Dr. Freeland don't know this, but under our broadcast shows all of your links, because folks got to get to you. And Misty Lane, she had to leave. She had to run into the hospital. All is well, though. But Misty, we're super happy to have you here. And everybody here, I see we've got Miss Karen Speed in from Hawaii. We're happy to have you here. And so, of course, folks, don't forget, Kim, please tell them again how to reach out to you, because right here on the screen, we've got your Extreme Balance Makeover and all that, but we want to hear it from your voice. So Kim, please go ahead. You're muted.
If you go to KimJacobsConsulting.com, you'll be able to find a lot of information there. And you can also go to our YouTube channel, The Kim Jacobs Show. And I have a question for Dr. Michael Friedland. Am I allowed to ask?
Yes, ma'am. Please ask it. But hold on. Before you do that, let me do this. I am going to take myself out of the spotlight because she going to put some sizzle in your seat.
I almost got away with it, Kim.
Yes.
I just want to know, like, because I have 3 children that live daily with cystic fibrosis, and so it's a life debilitating type of disease. I wanted to find out from you, and they each have dreams and goals to be like the first in something specific. So they're like superstar type of children, even though they're living with this disability or whatever. I wanted to find out from you, Dr. Freeland, what advice would you give parents like myself to be able to help continue to inspire our children to go beyond their limitations? And how did your parents do that with you?
Well, I spent most of these years with my mother. My father was in the Air Force. You know, he did all that he could. But my mother, as I moved back to Kansas, was my main source of everything. And one thing I can say is that she spoke to everything that was good. She spoke to everything that was good. And I'm saying this, I mean, really. And I'll say another, let me give you another story, because I can remember going outside to play with kids, and we all deal with this when we have children with deficiencies. They want to go outside and play, and they want to what? They want to just be normal. They want to do things that normal kids do. Well, this particular time, I wasn't feeling good, and I wasn't liking that people were making fun of me, but my mom was in the house cooking. She didn't know no better. She just says, go outside and play. So I go outside, and I sit on the porch. So my mom comes outside, and she realizes I'm on the porch. I didn't leave the house. So she said, boy, what's wrong with you? I said, Mama, I'm fine. She said, no, you know, Mama, you tell her you ain't nothing wrong if you want to. She knows. She gonna say, no, I know something wrong with you. So tell me, what's going on? I said, Mama, I'm tired of going out here playing with all these kids. I'm tired of laughing at me. I'm tired of making fun of me. And I said this before, but I gotta keep saying it because it's important for people to get this. It could maybe take one thing that your mother says to you that changes the whole trajectory of your life. So my mom told me to stand up. She said, get up, come here. And I got up and I stood there, and I I had tears in my eyes because I was mad and I was frustrated and I didn't know what to do. I'm a kid and I don't want to be around nobody. And she says, let me tell you something. She put her finger on it. She says, if you treat this like a handicap, that's all it will ever be. She said, if you treat this like a handicap, that's all it will ever be. So I had to learn as I got older, and it still sticks with me right now. I say it everywhere I go because it built the trajectory of who I am and what I'm doing. Now you can shift from the inside, how it hurts so bad. The pain that you feel, you gotta believe that somebody else is feeling the same pain, if not worse. And how do you reach them? You gotta begin to work on the inside. And that was my mom when she put her finger in my chest and she told me, if you treat this like a handicap, that's all it will ever be. She poured into me something that I wasn't quite ready for. But as you grow, then you start to know. And as you know, then you become aware. Like I said, people will tease and make fun of what they don't understand. But if you understand more about yourself than they do, you can become the educator. You understand? So now you can shift from someone who's being made fun of and felt shameful, or now you can go from having to tuck your head in to stand on your chest. Because they used to laugh at me and say, man, your leg looks like you got ran over by something. They said all kinds of things to me. The rest of that stuff when we was kids, there was nothing straight. It was all was straight things. So I couldn't wear those things. But as I got older, I started to learn. But when it comes to kids who have deficiencies, you feed what they need. Let me say that again. You feed what they need. When they have something that you realize that they need, you give it to them, even if they don't know how to receive it, because you have no idea the seed that you plant now, how that works out 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now. They will come back and say the same thing my teachers did at 50 years old, and I'm talking about things my mother told me when I was young. These are the things that the kids do when we talk about how do you deal with the deficiencies. How do you go to school and manage yourself around other people? Because you know they're going to talk. They're going to have something to say. And it's not always going to feel good. But how do you feel? Engage the feelings that they have. And how do they feel? What do you feel about yourself today? When you woke up this morning, what was you thinking? See, you got to challenge the children who have deficiencies to think about something other than the deficiency, because they will pay attention to what they're focused on. But if they focus on the deficiency, that's where they're going to stay. But my mom brought me to a place where I was not even worried about Milroy's disease no more. I was now trying to concentrate on how not to act like I was handicapped. Because it became more important to add more value to me as a person than it did to give people the fuel that they need to continue to do what they was doing to. If that makes any sense, I just want, if that helps, I thank God for that question. Thank you, because this is something that has crossed, listen, it's still crossing boundaries. I see, when I was in Africa, let me tell you, when I was in Africa, I was just there a few weeks ago, and there was a lady and a child, and they was in the street, and they was asking for money, but they wasn't doing it like just begging people for change, like we may see around the U.S. Just let the baby had a leg that was maybe as long as it was from the other leg to the knee. From the hip to the knee, with the entire leg on one side and the regular size on the other. And when that child stood up in the street and was trying to get change, let me tell you, just seeing somebody who has a deficiency does not mean that we kick them when they're down. The best thing you could ever do is stand on the other side when they can't hold themselves over there. You know, I don't understand this thing, because I really want people to hit home with this, because when I talk about my Milroy's disease, this is very real. I stand up here with a suit on, and somebody told me, if you standing on the stage and you talking and you crying and becoming emotional, maybe you're not ready to be on the stage. I beg to differ.
Hello.
This is real life, real emotion. And when we're talking about the emotions of kids, we can't stop them from feeling the emotion of what they're going through. Because that is the healing process that helps them get through some of these things. If we say, stop crying, I don't want to hear all that. Don't do that. Please don't. Allow them the space and opportunity to say what they need to say, feel what they need to feel, support them. And when you see the need, you got to feed them. I'm sorry. But that's good. But I'm loving this, man. This is good stuff when it comes to this type of stuff. Because I know a lot of people with deficiencies, and I was speaking to the children at KU Med Center, speaking to the doctors, and the students that they had over there. And one of the things that I talked about was the misdiagnosis. I said, make sure, now y'all in school now, so y'all gonna get your paychecks. Y'all gonna go to these places and they're gonna pay you to be the doctors of all these people you don't know. But let me help you with something. Get the diagnosis right. Because your misdiagnosis can cost somebody their life. And I was misdiagnosed with Miller's disease because they couldn't understand it. They wanted to call it lymphedema. Now it's related, but it's not the same. And I chose to not accept that because my life was valued more than that. And not only did I choose not to accept what they was telling me, I stopped going to. I left them alone. I wasn't giving them a time of day because just because the doctor speaks don't mean they right about what they say.
Yep.
This is why you owe it to yourself to know more about who you are, what you possess, what you're dealing with. Know your stuff. Educate yourself. And if they're not old enough to educate themselves, you educate them. Talk to them about the small nuances of what it takes just to stand in this world because we know it can be a problem. Thank you for your question.
Woo! Yes. Wow. Yes.
Home run, Dr. Michael and Kim.
Wow. Wow. And we see friends from Canada. Teresa Talbot, good to see you. Thank you so much. We have so many folks streaming in, making comments. We're happy to have you here tonight on Books to Boom Your Business with the incredible Miss Kim Jacobs and Dr. Michael Friedland. They've talked about their books. They've talked about their mission and the love of what they do. And so this is going out to you. And so all of you that have joined us right here in Zoom and all around the world, this is Dr. Lotus Richey. And let me put my face into place. I'm all up here. Y'all can't see me. Y'all can't see me. Let me get right in here. Let me add myself to this spotlight. Look, I have been in the best company tonight with all of you. And so I'd like to thank you for being here. And I welcome you back. Kim, I know you've got a couple other books, and I want you to come back and talk about those books as well. And those of you out there that's got a book that you know can help somebody with your message, because after all, your message is your power and your power is your message. Contact me, connect with me, and bring your book to Books to Boom Your Business. Why? Because there's somebody out there that needs you. And don't forget, look right below. You can see the ticker. Connect with Kim on Extreme Balance Makeover, Better Solutions, Better Focus, Better Let Life Get Your Book. Go ahead. There's her website. Connect with her. Don't forget, connect with Dr. Michael Friedland. Free your land, developing your mental real estate. Contact him. You see his link right there. Make sure you connect with Ebony. And guess what? You can send him cash direct. Use his cash app, the $ DJ Mike J 47, and you can get a book directly from him as well. Of course, don't forget hhps://KimJacobsShow.com. You need to be a guest on her show and get her books. They will change your life. So with no further ado, I've got to tell you a little bit about the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. Please continue to support us. Please continue to support my company because it's your contributions and our hard work coming together to continue to put Books to Boom Your Business, to put the webinars, to put the trainings on, to even run our shows, and to make sure we are in full swing with our own mental real estate. You can connect with me. Go grab my apparel. You see it down below, and hit me up on Zelle, Cash App, PayPal. But most importantly, make sure you tune into the Lotus Richey Ignite Show. News you can use, bring who you are, and don't forget, it's the Kim Jacobs Show. Make sure you tune in to the Kim Jacobs Show, and all the speakers that came here tonight, tune into their shows. You know why? Because if you surround yourself with positive, like-minded people, guess what? You're going to be successful. So from me to you and our wonderful speakers, this has been Books to Boom Your Business. God bless you and have a good night.
Books to Boom Your Business with Dr. Lotus Richey is brilliant. And I, Kim Jacobs, the host of The Kim Jacobs Show, can't wait to help you boom your business with my books as well. Extreme Balance Makeover, This Is How I Fight My Battles, Women of War, Peace in the Midst of the Storm, and Rise Up, Women Who Lead, Building a Legacy. I can't wait to see you.
Thank you to Dr. Michael Friedland and the phenomenal Kim Jacobs. This has been Books to Boom Your Business, and we'll see you on the other side of the books that's about to boom your business and your life. Good night.